This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel Strat-O-Matic Baseball Excel Game of the Week.
Welcome back, baseball fans, to the game of the week, to the final wild card game, the fourth and final wild card game. Save the best ones for last. Pirates at Reds. This could be Game 7 of the National League Championship Series, Game 5 of the Divisional Series, or it could just be a one-game wild card playoff game. Let's take a look at why that is. When we look at the standings for the National League North, the Reds, here we go, they were looking at a number 2 seed. They had to play the Pirates. They had already clinched the division, they had a 4-game lead. They played a best of 5. Pirates won 3 games to 2. That enabled the Pirates to slip into the playoffs as a number 6 seed, but it knocked the Reds, who were at 2, down a peg to 3. So now they got to play them again. But the game is in Riverfront. And it is a rematch of the same pitching matchup we had in Game 3 of that series. So let's take a look at that. Here's the box from Game 3 of the last series the Reds and Pirates played, also in Cincinnati. Number 4 starter Joe Price. The Reds feel like they'd rather throw a lefty at the Pirates than a righty. And same with the Pirates. They'd rather throw Jim Rooker at the Reds. Rooker versus Price. It was a pretty good game. Joe Price pitched pretty well. Gave up 2 runs in 7 innings. Got some runs. Gave up some runs late. Did the bullpen. But they had a big 7th inning. Did the Reds. This was a 3-2 game for most of it. But in the 7th inning, Kent DeColvey came in for Rooker and did not do the job and gave up a big inning. And the Reds won that game 7-4. So the same pitching matchup, the same, the lineups are a little bit different. Actually, the Pirate lineup, yeah, both lineups are slightly different. So here we are now playing the same pitching matchup. It is Jim Rooker for the Pirates. It is Joe Price for the Reds. 1 game. If the Reds win, they got a date with the Phillies. If the Pirates win, they get a date with the Astros. Let's get started from Riverfront Stadium. Omar Moreno leads it off. 2-6 is a K. Rennie Stennett. 4-4 off of Joe Price. Automatic homer if you have power, and Stennett has power. It is gone. Solo shot for Rennie, and it's 1-0 Pirates. The Cobra, Dave Parker, 5-11's a walk. He's an ace stealer, but bench is catching today. They had him play first base and give Nicosia some work, but they decided to let bench in a 1-game playoff. He has to catch. So that'll slow down the Pirates a lot today. Parker's at first, 1 out. He's going to hold for Bill Robinson. 39 for Bill Robinson. Let's take a look at Bill Robinson's card. Heck of a card for the Pirates in 77. 304, 26 home runs. 39 is single dot. Runners on the corners with 1 out for Al Oliver. Going to play it back. 39 again for this guy is fly ball to right B ? Now in right field for the Reds is Steve Bry with 0 arm. The Cobra's a 16 runner. He's going to run on an 18. And he scores on a roll of a 3, so it's a sac fly. Runner at first, 2 outs. And here's Craig Cusick, the DH. Plays only against lefties. 39 is a single to center field. 2 on, 2 outs. For Pops Stargell. The pitch to Willie Stargell. 6'11" off Price is a pitcher X. He's an E26. He's out on the E rating of 26. If you're following the result box, if there's a parenthesis and says X parenthesis, that means that the E rating came up, not the fielding rating came up. So that was the shorthand there, so I knew it was the E rating of 26, which is exactly what Price's is. So that's the end of the inning. But they get 2 runs. Leading off for the Reds, Joe Morgan. 38 is ball 4. Double-A stealer. Sanguian has a +2 arm. I think you got to do it. Even if you get thrown out, you still got to do it. He's in there. You're not going to not steal because you're down 2. You're Joe Morgan. You're going to set the table here for the big red machine. He's on at second for Dave Concepcion. 46 is a walk. 2 on for Ken Griffey. 39 for Griffey is a 3-6-3 double play. Morgan goes to third with 2 outs for George Foster. 47 bounces to second X. Both second basemen are 1-16. He makes the play. You see this GBA here means it was reflective off of the fielding rating, which is 1, and X was not rolled. All right, top of 2, Frank Taveras, 56, bounces to second. And that is, oh my goodness, it's an error on Joe Morgan. No, I'm sorry, Morgan's a 1E6. I was thinking about his 76 card. Joe Morgan's a 1E6 in the year of 77. And that is now an out. Manny Sanguian, 32, center. Omar Moreno, 110, is a base hit to center field. And now, here we go. Here's the battle. Moreno versus Bench. He's going to steal with a lead and 2 outs. Rolls an 8 and is safe. Double-A stealer was a Triple-A for 1 year, I think in 1980. You have a runner in scoring position, 2 outs. You almost want to walk Stennett here to pitch to Parker. Oh, that just sounds like a bad idea. Intentionally walk a 336 hitter to face a 334 hitter. No thanks. We'll deal with Stennett. The pitch to Rennie Stennett, 67, is a pop to third. Bottom of 2. I would say the Pirates are probably the favorite to win this. I mean, it did beat the Reds in the 1979 National League Championship Series, 3-0, and won that World Series. Here's Johnny Bench, 312. Grounds a third. Steve Bry, 38 is a K. Geronimo, 52, rolls to the pitcher. Top of the third. The Cobra, Dave Parker, 210, rolls to short. Bill Robinson, 68, lines to first. Al Oliver, 68, pops to third. Bottom of the third inning. Tommy Helms. His second tour of duty with the Reds. 110, skies the center. Tom Hutton, 34, lines to short. Joe Morgan, 38, just like the first time, up, walks. May as well try and steal, get this thing going, and he's safe again. Same rule, I think, as well. Morgan's at second again for Concepcion. 47 is a second X, and this is your 1E16. Makes the play. Very quiet 2-0 game in the fourth. Craig Cusick, 62, second X, 1E6 is out. Stargell, 37 against the lefty, a K. Frank Taveras, 211, grounds a third. Not bad. Price, bad first inning. Settle down. Got 10 of 11 batters out. Ken Griffey leading off the bottom of the fourth. 2-5 is a single. B. Steeler being held on base. George Foster, the 1977. Let's take a look at Foster's card. Last year for this card, could be the last game for this card. 52 bombs in 77. Had a very pedestrian 7 homers during the season, something like that. And hasn't hit one in a while. This would be a great moment to get on a home run streak. The pitch to George Foster. 4-10 off of Rooker. He did it a different way. He gets the homer off the Jim Rooker card. So, Foster didn't use his own, used Rooker, and we are tied at 2. So one thing I don't like about this Rooker card, he's really good, except he has a tendency to can't keep the ball in the park. In 204 innings, he gave up 24 home runs in 1977. Well, we got a 2-2 game, folks. And it's Johnny Bench. 2-6. He's a grounder to short. Steve Bry, 38 again as a K like last time. And Geronimo, 64, third X. And this is where the defense is bad on the corners. Both Stargell and Bill Robinson's a 40-37 at third base. He'd probably get on base here, but he does not. Look at that. He got out. All right. That's it for the Reds in the fourth. They've tied the game at 2. In the fifth, Joe Price. Now, we talked about in the fifth game, Mario Soto is available to come out of the bullpen. Terrific Tom Seaver can give you an inning. And they might just, trot out a bunch of different pitchers, do the Reds. For the Pirates, they'll stick with their great bullpen of Gossage and Tekulve and Tom House. So, anyway, top of the fifth, Manny Sanguillen, 33, flies to left, B plus injury. Interesting. So Sanguillen leaves the game. Ed Ott will be the new catcher. Omar Moreno, 65, left C. And with 2 outs, Rennie Stennett, 58, short X. This 58 is short X. And it's Concepcion, and he makes the play. And as soon as I talk about pitching options for the Reds, Joe Price has retired 13 out of 14 batters since the 2 runs in the first. 2-2, bottom of the fifth. Before we get there, let's pause a moment for station identification.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
Okay, bottom of the fifth. Tommy Helms will lead it off. 56, flies left. Tom Hutton, 69, is a single to center field. Joe Morgan has rolled 3-8 twice on his own card, which is a walk. The pitch, 65, is a liner to third. And with 2 outs, Dave Concepcion, 55, second C. Perfectly matched game. Both teams have sent the same number of batters to the plate through 5, and you have a 2-2 tie. Can't get any better than this. Game 6th inning here from Riverfront. You got Murderers Row, Dave Parker to lead it off. 56 off Price, second X. This is Morgan, a 1-6, and he makes the play. Bill Robinson, 45, homer 1-7, double, and that's going to be a 2-base hit. Now, going to start getting careful here with Price. It's his breaking inning. It's pretty good against lefties. Gives up the long ball to righties. The only guy, Craig Cusick is up next. Not normally a guy you'd expect to make a pitching change to. So here's Al Oliver with a runner in second, 1 out. 6-11 off of Price. Pitcher X, here we go again with that E26. It's not a good E rating for a pitcher. A 2. But he gets a ground ball C. So the runner goes to third for Cusick, who would be a very unlikely hero for the Pirates, and I think the Reds prefer him to be in the game. They want, as long as he's in the game, that's probably a good sign for the Reds. So they're gonna pitch to Craig Cusick. Let's take a look at his card. Acquired in the offseason from the Minnesota Twins as a corner DH platoon, first base platoon against lefties only. Has nice on base and home runs, as you can see. And here's a big plate, probably the biggest at bat of his Pirate tenure right here. Runner at second, 2 outs. The pitch from Joe Price. 56 is second X. Joe Morgan to save the day again. 2-2, bottom of the 6th. Rooker's a starter 7. And once you get past Foster, bench, the Reds aren't really that great against lefties either. Bench is not very good against lefties. But you have to get through Griffey and Foster. Here's Ken Griffey. 1-6. Let's take a look at the Griffey card. This card will hit you 316 in 1979. 1-6 triple, 1-7 double. He rolls the triple. The infield comes up for Foster. A bunch of righties. But if you put a righty, you're going to make bench better. Geronimo's going to be better. Hutton will be better. Jerry Turner off the bench could come in. I'd rather, just like we stuck with Price, stick with Rooker until he breaks. It's still just a 2-2 game. So the infield will come up with Griffey at third, looking for a ground ball B. George Foster, 64 off Rooker, is a liner to third. And now Johnny Bench. Let's take a look at him. I said before, he's not good against lefties. And look at the card there. You see, kind of meh against lefties. In 77, he hit 275 with 31 bombs. But he really does destroy righties. Look at the doubles, too. I mean, yeah. So Rooker will pitch to him. The infield is still up for Johnny Bench. The pitch, 68 off Rooker, is single 1-14. He rolls a 7 and gets the RBI single, does Johnny Bench, giving the Reds their first lead of the game. All right, right at first for Steve Bry. 38 for the third straight time, just like there and there. It's a K again. And with 2 outs, it's Geronimo. 1-7 is a K. Hard to fault Rooker. Griffey hit the triple 1-7 off his card, and then he gave up the single 1-14. The homer off of the Rooker card there. Still 3-2. That was the same score. Let me go back really quickly to the previous matchup between these two teams. And the Pirates had 2 and the Reds had 3. It's identical scoring, 3-2 through 6 innings. And what happened was, since we have the ability here, Price went 3 up and 3 down in the 7th. Rooker ran into trouble in the bottom, and they went to DeColvey, and he blew up. So let's see what happens in the rematch. Top of the 7th, 3-2 for the second time in 4 days. Same pitchers. It'll be Pop Stargell. 1-8 is a strikeout. Frank Taveras. 1-5. Let's take a look at the Taveras card. Triple 1-12. Double. He gets the triple. And the infield is up for Ed Ott. Let's look at Ed Ott's card. Because interestingly, he hits lefties better than righties, and he hits homers against them. And you got Moreno after that. I think they just show a lot of faith in Price here. So they're going to pitch to Ott with the infield up. 66 off Price is a liner to first. And with 2 outs, it's Moreno. Now, if you were going to bring in a righty, now would be the time to do it. Let's take a look at Moreno's card. He's actually better against lefties. Some really weird lefty-righty platoon splits for these two teams. So Moreno's better against lefties. Stennett's better against lefties. And Price is a lefty. And you know what we're going to do, gang? We are going to get him out of there after 6 2/3. We're going to get him out of the game so he cannot lose this game. He has the lead. Joe Price gives you 6 2/3, leaves with a runner at third and 2 outs. And I'm looking for a righty who can get lefties out in this bullpen, and the answer is Jim Willoughby. Let's take a look at him. Jim Willoughby, this is the answer to Moreno in this situation. A righty who gets lefties out. Jim Willoughby to Omar Moreno. Here's the pitch to Moreno. 55 off Willoughby is short X. This is Concepcion, also a 1 just like Morgan, and he makes the play. Stretch time here in Cincinnati Riverfront Stadium. We have been enjoying the sounds of Brick, the Good High LP of 1976, featuring Daz. Disco Jazz was the big disco hit off of this record. Great LP, this one and the one that came after that had Dusick on it. Excellent. Excellent stuff here. Here in Ohio, at Riverfront, the Reds, bottom of the 7th, 3-2 lead. This is where they blew it open last time. Rooker is out there again. Eternal recurrence. Tommy Helms will lead off in the bottom of the 7th inning. 56 off Rooker, skies a left. Tom Hutton. 2 7s a walk. And now you got Morgan. No stay. Talk about a clutch guy. Joe Morgan, Mr. Clutch. Walked twice, popped out. has a runner at first with 1 out. Here's the pitch to Joe Morgan. 2-7 this time, though, is a third B+. So that works out pretty good. The third B+ means he gets the first base on the fielder's choice. And you know what's coming, folks. Another stolen base attempt. And he's safe for the 3rd time in the game. Joe Morgan has not scored yet. And now you got Concepcion, and the wheels are turning here, folks. And I think they're going to make a pitching change. Concepcion's much better against lefties. And you got a runner at second with 2 outs. And they're going to turn it over to Kent Tekulve again. Because surely he'll do better than last time. Let's take a look at Tekulve. He's the righty, he gets righties out, the submariner. Needs to get Concepcion out here with a runner at second and 2 outs. Here's the pitch to Dave Concepcion. 66 is a pop to first. So Tekulve will have a date with Foster and Bench in the next inning, at least. Willoughby will continue into the 8th inning. He will possibly pitch all the way through Oliver. It's righty-lefty, righty-lefty. You have to be careful here. It's not particularly good against righties. I did say they had Mario Soto available for an inning. I think he's going to pitch through to Dave Parker, and we'll see what happens after that. So here's Rennie Stennett, leading off in the 8th. Any defense to bring in? Well, you know what, the Reds, they actually are going to put Jack Brohammer in at third base for Tommy Helms. He's a little bit better defensively. And that's it. So, new third baseman, and it'll be Rennie Stennett in the 8th off of Jim Willoughby in a 3-2 game. Here's the pitch to Rennie. 58 off Willoughby is second X again. Boy, a ton of ground balls hit to the second baseman and shortstops. And they're all ones. This is easy stuff. Ground out. All right, if Parker gets on, the most likely hook Willoughby. Here is the Cobra. 0 for 2, run scored, and a walk. Pitch to Dave Parker. 4-4 off Willoughby. Homer 1-2 double. He rolls a 4. Ooh, that was close. Doesn't give up a lot of homers to lefties, and that is a double. And that'll do it for Jim Willoughby. There's only 5 outs to get, and the Reds have about 5 pitchers available. Very reminiscent of Sparky Anderson emptying his bullpen, back when they had more pitchers to empty it with. And here it is, folks. Mario Soto had some days off for this wild card game, and he's going to come out of the bullpen. He's normally their number 2 starter, but in an important game like this, he is coming in the 8th inning with a runner at second and 1 out, 3-2 game to face Bill Robinson. The pitch to Bill Robinson. 1-6 is a K. And with 2 outs, it's Al Oliver. Got to pitch to him, too. Could intentionally walk him. Well, I don't like putting the lead runner on base with a walk. And then you have Cusick, which means a pinch hitter. And the only pinch hitter you'd have would be Bud Harrelson or Dale Berra. And then you got Stargell. You got to pitch to Oliver here. And just cross your fingers. If he gets up a single, maybe it's a single dot, not a single dot. So he's going to pitch to Oliver. Tough move here. Could walk him, but I don't like that strategy. I want to pitch to him. Here it is. Al Oliver, Mario Soto in a wild card game. Here's the pitch to Al Oliver. 4-10. Center X and another one. Geronimo. All ones. The Red defense, a 1-4 in center field, and he makes the grab. The X's have been hit to Joe Morgan, Dave Concepcion, and Cesar Geronimo. One of the things that's forgotten, and Johnny Bench, right up the middle, all ones. It used to be a big thing in baseball. You wanted to have your best players up the middle at catcher, center field, second, and short. And the Reds have the best defense you can get at those places. Bottom of the 8th. Tekulve will continue against Griffey, Foster, and Bench, and then after that we'll see. All right, Ken Griffey leads off the 8th. He's had a nice day. He scored twice, is 2 for 3. 47 off Tekulve's a single. B. Steeler, not going to steal. And George Foster is the batter. 5-11. Second X. Stennett, a 1E16. Nothing but great defense today. Fantastic defense. I haven't had a single defensive hiccup that I can recall. Now with 2 outs, it's bench. Now in an odd move, well, frankly, the homers are pretty much the same, lefty-righty. So they'll leave Colby in. The pitch to Johnny Bench, 43 off to Colby, is a fly ball to left. This is Al Oliver. He's a 2E5 in left field. And that's going to be a single. Now you got Steve Bry, has power. Let's take a look at the Steve Bry card. He was brought in to be the 4th outfielder and has actually gotten a lot of playing time. Right-handed batter, great defense. It's lefties and righties about the same, like a 267 hitter, 249 hitter. He'll bat against DeColby because of his good defense. Here's the pitch to Bry. 34, grounds to short. Well, at least he didn't strike out. Here we go, folks, to the 9th inning, a 3-2 thriller. Soto goes out there. You're going to have a pinch hitter, then Willie Stargell. Oh, my goodness. This is where Craig Cusick, you let him bat? Let me think about this. The guys on the bench, you know what? I think they're going to... I think if the pinch hit Bud Harrelson, they're going to take Soto out of the game. Oh boy, and go to Dave Tomlin. That's what they're going to do. So, they are going to pinch hit Soto's going to be... Cusick is being pinch hit for by Bud Harrelson. As soon as Bud Harrelson has been announced in the game, let's first take a look at Bud Harrelson's card. You see he gets on base a ton versus righties. That's one of the highest on base percentages and one of the rare Pirate player who walks. But it's not so good against lefties. So with Stargell a lefty on deck anyway, they're going to go right to their top lefty reliever now, which is Dave Tomlin. Tomlin's going to come on in the 9th. And you could pinch hit for Bud Harrelson with your last guy on the bench, which is Dale Berra. But frankly, we'll pitch to Bud Harrelson here in the 9th. The pitch to Bud. 48 off the Tomlin card is a clean single. He's a 12 runner. And Berra is a 12 runner as well, so we'll just leave him there. All right, Willie Stargell. Let's take a look at Pops' card. This is his 1978 card, 28 homers and a 295 batting average. It's a 3-2 game in the 9th. Stargell is your lead run. Dave Tomlin to Willie Stargell. The pitch. 67's a K. Now you have Taveras and Ott. Now as I look at this, Taveras, Ott, Moreno, Stennett. The next 4 guys aren't particularly interesting, so I think I'm going to make another move here. I'm going to go back to a righty now. They still have Ron Davis. I should go Tom Seaver here. But I want to save Seaver for the divisional series. Game 1, if they win it. So we're going to go... You got your choice of Doug Bear or Ron Davis. Doug Bear is the closer. We're going to go to him. Doug Bear is going to come on in the 9th for the Reds. Emptying the bullpen. The 5th pitcher in a 3-2 thriller because it's a wild card game. And the Reds this would be a remarkable fall from glory. They were battling the Pirates at the beginning of the last series for the top seed of the National League. They lost that, fell to the number 3 seed, and now have a 3-2 lead in the 9th. It could blow the whole thing and be done. So you need to get 2 more outs, and they're going to max out everything they can do here. Doug Bear to Frank Taveras, with Harrelson at first, and 1 out. The pitch to Frank Taveras. 57 off Bear is a strikeout. And with 2 outs, did we look at Ed Ott's card before? Let's look at it again. It'll be Ed Ott You look at the card, at first glance, you think this guy's like a 240 hitter, but actually, he's 273. He has the 2-2 card because the Pirates had a bunch of guys hitting well over 270, 280 in the year of 1979. So, if the Pirates want to make good on their 1979 World Series championship in this iteration, Ed Hott has to come through right now or it is over. Harrelson's at first with 2 outs. The pitch to Ed Hott. 65 off of Bear is short X. Another one. Dave Concepcion's a 1E25 and the ball game's over. The Pirates, every X was either to second, short, or center field. You're not going to get on base. A thrilling win. The Reds emptied their bullpen. And you had the feeling that they were extremely nervous after what the Pirates did to them in that last series they played. They get the 3-2 win. All sorts of pitching changes. Tom Seaver is available to pitch in the divisional round. That was one of the moves they made. So there it is, 3-2, folks. The Reds prevail. Bear gets the save. Price gets the win, and a bunch of relievers get holds. So Bear gets a strikeout in the 9th. Tomlin gave up a hit. Tomlin gave up a hit and a strikeout. Mario Soto got the last 2 outs in the 8th inning. One of those was a strikeout. And Willoughby got an out in the 7th and an out in the 8th and gave up a hit. And everything else was Joe Price. Gave up 6 hits and 6 2/3. But 4 of them were in the first 2 innings. Charged with the 2 runs in the first inning. Only 1 walk by the Pirates, and that's sort of their... They don't have a lot of walks. They don't draw walks. They're free swingers. High batting averages. Parker had the only walk of the game, and he scored on it. 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. Price gets the win. Tekulve in relief did an okay job. Gave up 2 singles, had a double play in there. Jim Rooker, a tough luck loser. Gives up just 5 hits and 3 runs. A homer off his card. And he gives up too many. Automatic homer as well on 410. To none other than George Foster. It was Ken Griffey's triple in his own card. If that's a double, this single does not score him. And then you have 2 strikeouts. Because this was a single dot by Bench. So, wow. Would love to see these teams play a 5-7 game series. But that's what you get this year. And the Reds finally outlast the Pirates. 1019, 0108, 3728. 16444416. That is National League 6301. Pittsburgh at Cincinnati. When we look at the year-to-date stats for the 2 squads, we'll get to that right here. The Reds, another chance. They're 20-12. Most wins in the National League, but they were number 3 seed. Pirates actually finished 14-14 after all that. They just put themselves... They're a slow starting team, and they dug themselves too big of a hole earlier in the year. They tried to recover late. They did a nice job in 6 quality games against the Reds. They split 6 games with the Reds, and that wasn't going to be good enough. The Pirates at 273 with a 3.88 ERA. None of the pitching performances look amazing. Everybody was kind of good there. Homers, I mean, you had Parker, Robinson, and Stargell all had 11, 11, and 10 homers. Dave Parker, 11 homer, 31 RBI. Al Oliver, 40 for 114 with 7 homers. What a shame. Now the Reds, they only hit 266 with a 3.79 ERA. But Joe Price, folks, 7-1. 7-1, your number 4 starter, one of the best records in all of the league. Tom Seaver, 7-3. He's the ace. Soto and Alchinko are in between. The Red bullpen for the year was 0-3, but 10 saves. They were shuffling guys throughout, including that game you just saw, of course. Not a lot of homers for this team. Not a lot of RBI either. George Foster, 8 homers, 29 RBIs. Johnny Bench is 40 for 124. That's pretty darn good. Johnny Bench hit 323. 40 hits, paced the team. How about Joe Morgan? Morgan's 30 for 108. So Morgan had 278 is all he did, but he had 28 walks and 25 stolen bases. So let's go to the playoff schedule here before we do a wrap. So there it is. The Pirates are done. And the Reds will play the Phillies, and Colorado will play the Astros. Reds, Phillies. Game 1 will be Tom Seaver. Soto, with a day off, with 2 days off, will pitch Game 2. He only pitched 2/3 of an inning. He'll pitch Game 2. Price can't come back till Game 4, so I'll have to go with Ochinko in 3, and then Price 1, 2, 3, 4 needs 4 days rest. He's in there in Game 4, and then of course Seaver again. So we'll have Carlton, Seaver twice. So it'll be Carlton and Christensen, Erickson, Rick Williams, and Carlton. So in the National League Divisional Series, the number 3, number 2, Tom Seaver and Steve Carlton will pitch in games 1, Christensen, Soto in 2, Erickson, Ochinko, Williams, Price, and if there's a game 5 after a day off, you get Carlton, Seaver a second time. That's the way it should be. Wow. National League playoffs are set. All right, thanks for checking out the video. We'll see you next time.